welcome to the morning show. My name's Jenna and I'll be your host. Today we'll be having some special guests who will be sharing their personal stories about overcoming suffering. Our first guest to share their story is Paul Rusapagina. Welcome, Mr. Rusapagina. So we brought you here today to hear your story on how you overcame suffering. Can you tell us how you did that?
Yes, I can. Well, it was a long journey for me and my people to make it where we are today. First off, I'm a Hutu, and my wife, Tatiana, I love you, she's a Tutsi, and,
Show the love.
Anyway, with, like I said, me being a Hutu, her being a Tutsi, it made it very, very difficult, because of the genocide that was going on in Rwanda. I took it upon myself to become the protector and the leader of my refugees, though they fled to my hotel to be under my protection. They're being prosecuted by my people, the Hutu, otherwise known as the Interamwe, which put me in a difficult place.
Must have been hard.
Yeah, it was very hard. Whether I should help my Hutu people or help my family was never a question. I obviously would stand by my family.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I love them.
Were there any complications for you and your family during the rebellion?
At several points there were. Me and my family were separated during the fighting probably like more than 5 times maybe. I don't know. It was very rough. I promised them I would keep them safe, so that's what I did. Both me and my family stared death in the eyes, but somehow we managed to escape it each time across our path. I don't know how, but we did.
Thank you.
I saw many, many dark things. The countless dead bodies, the destruction of my city, and the great evil my people showed towards the Tutsi. Also during that time, we'd been counting on support of the United Nations, but they were unable to aid us at first. I believe that without the support of my family and friends, that I would not be here with you today talking about my experience.
Wow, that's really must have been terrifying, and can't even begin to imagine how scary that must have been for you and your family.
It was awful.
Speechless. But thank you for sharing your story. It must have been pretty hard to talk about those kinds of things.
Yes.
Love to have you back on the show to hear more about your life.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Nice dish.
Peace.
Woo! Next up, we have Johannes, a man from South Africa, to share his story. Let's welcome him. Hello, Johannes.
Hello. It's great to be here.
So we brought you here today to tell us your story about how you overcame suffering. Would you mind telling us how you did that?
Hello, everyone. So I understand that you brought me here today to tell the story of my childhood and how I overcame suffering.
Yeah, that's exactly why you're here. So I heard that you were in a gang at one point. Would you mind telling us a bit about that?
Yeah, I was in a gang, and I was brainwashed by their philosophies of school education. They influenced me a lot, and I believed that school was a really bad place. I couldn't even get myself to go to school. I was so angry. My mother and grandmother first tried to get me to go, right? But I fought and tried to do whatever I could to escape.
Wow, why was school such a bad thing for you? Why was it so scary?
Well, I was brought up being told that there was no reason to be educated. I mean, my father didn't go to school, and he thought it was a waste of time, and I grew up thinking that. And for many people, this is just how things were. School is considered a white man's education.
So how did you, overcome your fear of going to school? How did you, go against what everyone else thought?
Well, my mom and grandmother dragged me. Literally. They forced me to go to school because they didn't want me to end up like all those other boys on the street, sniffing glue and doing hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
And there was nothing to live for there, so it was the best decision my family could have done. I mean, it changed my life, and it helped me overcome the post-school experience fears.
Have you ever thought of what you'd be doing now if you had never gone to school? Where would you have ended up?
Every day I think about what I would be doing, and I can see myself in the street wearing the same old ratty clothes, dealing with whatever I could deal with, smoking whatever I could smoke, and doing whatever the hell I wanted. It would be messed up.
Yeah, that would be quite a life.
Really
Well,
would.
I'm sure you must appreciate your family's care for you, and we also appreciate you coming here and sharing your story with us. So, thanks.
No problem. It's a pleasure, Jenna. Thanks for having me, bud.
No problem.
Is your dog bored? Does your dog like balls? Well, we got a deal for you. The tennis ball, 300. Yeah, that's it. Your dog be having a ball in no time. Bye.
And we're back. So we were just discussing with Johannes how people had overcome suffering. And so he told us his story. And now we're bringing in Mr. President Mandela, who will talk to you about his. Welcome, President.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I heard that your rugby team did pretty well.
1 minute.
Wow, that's really quite splendid.
Yeah.
So I brought you here today to for you to tell us your story about how you overcame suffering. So
Well, my story starts in my home country of South Africa. After the apartheid, I was trying to reunite my country as a whole. I thought that if the South African rugby team managed to win the World Cup, that the country would see that color doesn't matter and that we all love our country in the same way.
yeah, that's really true. I also heard that you were in jail for 27 years. Can you tell me how this affected you?
Yes. Those were some long, hard, stressful years. However, through the roughness and doubt, I managed to get something out of it. The poem Invictus. One of the most powerful words I will ever hear in my life. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate, and I am the captain of my soul.
Those are some really powerful words, Mr. Mandela. Thank you so much for sharing them with us. Our final guest speaker for the day will be a man by the name of Jonathan Uwegbu. Welcome, Jonathan. Our final guest speaker will be a man by the name of Jonathan Uwegbu.
Nice to be here.
Welcome. So how did you overcome suffering? I understand that one night thieves were pounding on your door and demanding money. How was that true?
It's so true. It was just a normal day in Nigeria. I earned a little bit of money, a little more than usual actually, from the egg rasher, and I decided to hire someone to fix up my house. And I only had 20 pounds left. But I went home and I was still happy, and my loving family was there, so that's all I needed. And we went to bed, and I woke up to a loud, really, really loud knocking, right? And I asked who was there, and it was a man. He replied he was a thief man and his people. I heard what sounded like at least 5 other voices, and there was a gun too.
Wow.
Yes. It was terrifying. My entire family was scared, and I thought that they were going to kill me. And so we prepared to give them whatever they wanted. Unfortunately, they asked for 100 pounds, and like I said, I only had 20. I told them that I would give them all that I had, and I knew that the safety of my family was more important than any money that I could ever have, and so I gave it to them, and then I just kept moving forward, and I didn't linger on what I had lost. I kept in mind what I had.
Wow, that's really good of you to not focus on what had just happened to you, but to keep moving forward and to know what was best for your family and how to solve the issues.
Yes, yes.
So, thank you, Jonathan. That wraps up our show today about overcoming suffering, and we'll see you tomorrow when we ponder the subject of cats. How many is too many? 5 minutes go by.
Wait, do you have the scripts?
Uh-oh.
What? What'd you do, you hoe?
Hold on.
Did it die? I told you to bring
No, I need it to be higher because we need to put on video.
But the children love the book. Good thing there's lots of them.
You can back it up.
Too bad I just recorded you guys.
Oh, awkward. I feel like this. Still recording. So, next up we have Johannes, a man from South Africa. have a shit. Our first guest to share with their story is Paul Rusapagina. Our first guest to share the story is Paul Rusapagina. How do you do? How do you do? How people overcame their suffering. And up next we have, and we're back. So we were in the middle of discussing overcoming.
Hello, everyone. I'm really sorry.
You're a boy! Why are you? Hello, everyone!
I want to see this all put together with my mini scarves. Oh, this one really matches my sweatshirt.
Okay, guys, let's go.
Our final guest speaker will be a man by the name of Johannes Iwegaboo. Welcome.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, how did you overcome suffering? I understand that one night. Fuck, can we just redo that? Can we just redo that?
Oh, it's good. No, it's good. It's good.
You have to leave again.
It's so scary. My children were mortified.
Wow. Mortified is a horrible word. So, what did you hear that morning?
No, it's not that.
Thank you, Jonathan, for sharing.
What are you doing?
I just said Jonathan.
Jonathan!
Okay, just keep it on the same one. Okay. Thank you, Jonathan. And that wraps up our show today, folks. So I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll be discussing the
Discussion.